Hi students, I'm Ratnali Sharma and we are going to start with the interesting writing skill today, that is dialogue writing. Now tell me the truth, don't you really love having conversations with people? And imagine you get marks for writing a conversation between two people. But we are going to do it in such a way that we score really good marks. Okay, so let's start with our dialogue writing session today. Let's first deal with the format. Okay, the first thing in format that we should always remember is the length of our writing skill. The length of a dialogue should be 1.5 page. Okay, that means one side of the page completely full, and then on the next side you're going to write half the page. Okay, now when you are writing a dialogue, 1.5 page actually means leaving no line between each and every dialogue. You are not going to leave a single line between all the dialogues, okay, because that consumes a lot of space. Then write 5 dialogues per person on the given topic. Now writing 5 dialogues per person will mean generally you're going to have 2 people to have a conversation, and that is why those 2 characters are going to contribute 5 dialogues each. Okay, that means altogether 10 dialogues minimum should be there in your writing skill. So each character is going to contribute, okay, and that contribution should be equal. What do you mean by that? It's simple. Say one character says something. The other character should not always answer with a yes or a no or just a word. Both the characters should be able to contribute equally in that dialogue. Okay. The next point of our format is add one opening and one closing dialogue. Now understand, what do we mean by add one opening dialogue? Okay. An opening line, okay, should be something like a greeting or a wish to someone. Good morning, how are you? Something of that sort, because you don't start any conversation just like that directly. You first greet each other and only then you start your dialogue. And when you end your dialogue, the closing line should formally end the dialogue. That is, by reading this closing line, the teacher knows that you have completed your dialogue. Otherwise, it might look incomplete, right? Now, understand, the opening line and the closing line are excluded from those 10 dialogues. Okay, the point number 2, 10 dialogues that you're supposed to write for which you're going to get marks. So, these are just for formality. Okay, so that your dialogue looks realistic, but you will get marks for those minimum 10 dialogues in between the opening and the closing line. Then, the next thing to remember, write an introduction in brackets. Who is speaking to whom and on what occasion? Now, this sets the mood for the dialogue. The reader understands the setting. Okay, for example, if the question is, write a dialogue between 2 people on the bus stop about the delay in bus service. Then, I want you to look at the top of the page. Yes, you're going to start your dialogue, which is going to be in brackets, okay, and it's going to be a dialogue between Ramesh and Suresh regarding the delay in bus service. Okay, this is going to be your introduction, the first thing that you do when you're going to start your dialogue, right? So that was our introduction. Now let us come to practically writing a dialogue. Okay. Now, first of all, we are going to focus on 2 things. One, to write a dialogue, I'm going to give you a question. Okay. The question is, write a dialogue between a bank officer and a customer. Right. So now, we are going to write a dialogue between these 2 people. Let's first have a conversation between the 2. Then I'm going to highlight certain important things that should be taken care of when you present your dialogue well. Okay, to begin with, what is the first thing that comes in? Yes, your introduction, and then one by one you write your dialogues. Right? Now, I'll just read out this dialogue to you. A customer enters a bank and talks to the bank officer. Customer: hello sir, I wanted to make some enquiries. Whom should I talk to? Officer, with a smile on his face. Please have a seat. You may ask me about your queries. Customer, I wish to open an account in your bank. Officer, which type of account would you like to open? Savings, recurring or demat? Customer, I would like to opt for savings account for myself. Officer, that would be very convenient choice. We offer 6% interest per annum on savings account. Customer, could you please suggest any other investment opportunities? Officer, you could benefit if you invest in gold these days, as it is an investment with great returns. Customer, oh, thank you so much for your help. Officer, please don't mention it, sir. It is my job to give best banking service to our customers. Okay, now that was the conversation between these two characters, the bank officer and the customer. Now, let us have a look at the presentation part. First of all, write an introduction in brackets, okay, where you will mention who is speaking to whom and on what occasion. And here we have it. A customer enters a bank and talks to the bank officer. Then you should always keep in mind that the names of the characters should come on the right side of the margin of your paper, not inside the margin. Alright? Then, to make your dialogue look really very neat, you should put all the colons one below the other. See to it that you plan it that way. All your dialogues will come on the other side of it. Okay? Now, the last and the most important part. When you are trying to make your dialogue very realistic, okay, you should add narrations to it. Okay, adding narrations make the dialogue realistic and interesting. Like for example here, with a smile on his face. This particular narration makes this dialogue a little more interesting and realistic, isn't it? And the last part that we discussed when we were discussing the format, the opening line should be a greeting or a wish. Like here, we have put, "Hello, sir." And closing line should formally end the dialogue. That is, "Please don't mention it, sir. That is my job to give best banking advice to our customers." Now, this is exactly what is expected out of you when you write a nice dialogue. With this, we are done with dialogue writing. Thank you so much.